Hi, I'm Heather, and this is knitting update number 63 for Sunday, May 24th. And I have a couple updates. It's been a while since I did a video, but that's okay. I think now that it's summertime and the weather's nicer, I don't know if I'll be doing, I haven't been doing daily videos for a while. I kind of wanted to get back into it, but it kind of just depends on how much I'm knitting and what I'm doing otherwise. So anyways, I'm wearing my finished Komodo vest, which I did show in the last video, but I don't think I'd sewed on the buttons yet, and it definitely wasn't blocked, but I obviously sewed on the buttons. I really like how these ones look. They're the ones I got with this yarn at Knit City, and they have like a little sprig of pampas grass in it. I don't know if you can see. It looks kind of just like gold along the side here, and they're super cute. I was kind of debating not using these buttons because I didn't know if I liked it. I bought them for this reason, so I sewed them on, and I think they look great. The grass is like super cute. It's not super noticeable, and I'm really happy with it. I was worried because I loved the fit of the vest before I blocked it. Then I blocked it, and while it was drying, I was having I was having some anxiety that maybe I shouldn't have blocked it. Not everything needs to be blocked, and I just thought, well, it is a superwash yarn, and the chances of it stretching or like growing with blocking are quite high. But when it was dry, I tried it on, and I honestly feel like the fit isn't too different than the pre-block. So I don't know if holding the strand of silk mohair with a superwash kind of helps it from growing, because I think the silk doesn't stretch. But I could be wrong. But yeah, either way, I'm happy with the fit of it. So worked out. I'm glad I blocked it. And yeah, I'll try to like stand up a little bit. Maybe I'll post like a little picture or video of me wearing it. No promises, but I'm super happy with how it fits. I did wear it yesterday out and about, and I was quite happy with it. The color is a bit bright, but it's really nice. I'm still on the fence about whether or not I want to find a sport weight yarn that is more plant-based so I can have a summer version and wear it without a t-shirt underneath. So far our spring has been so cold that I can wear yesterday I wore it with a long sleeve shirt underneath and a jacket over top. We're at the end of May. It was so cold yesterday, and it just rained the whole day. So yeah, I guess this was a good year to make this, but I kind of maybe want a summer version. I don't know for sure. I'm on the fence. Anyways, I did finish another project that I started and I was talking about last time I did this video or did a video, and that is my Haya Rengenzer. I don't remember. I'll put the name on the screen. What's going on? Sorry. This is the back. I did add a couple short rows, even though the pattern didn't call for it. Maybe I'll change into this. Okay, here I am wearing the sweater. I just recorded a whole thing, and I realized I didn't put my microphone on, and since it's all hooked up, probably none of my audio is getting picked up, so I have to try to redo the last little bit where I talked about my sweater. Maybe it's better to have a take two. I don't know. So this is my finished sweater. The pattern is by Rayuma Garn. I cannot remember what it's called, / I do not know how to pronounce the name of the sweater. So I'll put it on the screen. It's like Haya something Ganzer. I'm sorry. I really cannot remember this the name of this pattern. But let me talk about this pattern for a little bit. It was hard to find. I talked about it in my previous episode. You kind of have to buy it as a kit from the Rayuma Garn website, which I did not want to do, but I found it on a different website, European yarn store that's selling it as a PDF. So I purchased it through them, And then it was like a week before they actually sent me the pattern. So I don't remember the name of the store or anything like that. I think it was pretty easy to find. And if you look up the sweater pattern on Ravelry, that's how I found out about the yarn store that sells the PDF version. So I think that's what I would recommend you doing, going that route. But just know if you buy it through them, it might be a while till you get the pattern sent to you, which is really strange to me. Anyways, it's not a big deal. I got it in the end, and I love, love this pattern. It is super beginner friendly. So if you're new to knitting and you want to make your first sweater, I would 100% recommend that this sweater could be a good one for you. It's super straightforward. There's not a ton of information, but they keep everything super simple. And I really appreciated it for this time in my life. I really enjoyed working on it. I love the fit of it. I love this super wide ribbing and the rolled hem, so you can see kind of on my sleeve. I haven't blocked this yet, and I will. I'm looking forward to it. I kind of made it all a little bit shorter than I wanted in the hopes that when I block it, it will grow, which I think is the case. Even just with wearing of plant-based fibers, I find like they really grow a lot. And this is a Noro yarn, Noro Campeto, I believe, Campeto. I don't really know how to say it, sorry. And I could be even getting the word wrong anyways. It's a yarn that I bought a year or so ago. I'm pretty sure they still have it, and there's different colorways, but they're all kind of like this tonally, like speckly, nubby. I love it. I think this is like the perfect one. I feel like it's kind of like this weird, like greeny yellow base, and then all the other colors mixed in on top. That's just how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I like that it's not really striped. I kind of wish that it didn't have this like really super obvious dark stripe. It's mostly just speckly, but I guess there are some stripes that show up throughout, but it's not super stripy, which I really, really like. Yeah, it's a DK weight and the pattern called for Aran weight, but the needles are so small. So like the body is knit on a 4.5 and the ribbing is 3.5. So I think it kind of worked out really well with this DK weight. And also this yarn is very thick and thin. Some parts are like literally just a thread, and then other parts are, kind of thick, and they just turn out looking more like these like nubby spots. It's actually like pretty soft. I really like the feel of it. And it's very like textury too, which I love. So I did make 2 changes to the pattern. I added a couple short rows once I finished, did the last round of increases for the yoke. I tried to use a tutorial from Tin Can Knits, but I couldn't figure it out. I think it was pattern specific to one of her patterns. Like if you want to add short rows, it didn't come in the pattern, but here's a tutorial of how to add them. And anyways, I only added about 4 short rows. I don't know if it really made a difference, but I did it. And then the other change I made, I noticed in a lot of the finished object photos and even just the pattern photos that the yoke was super deep and the armhole kind of started like pretty far down. And that is kind of my one dislike of an oversized sweater, is when the yoke is too deep, because I don't mind wearing it like that, but how am I going to fit a jacket over it? I already buy pretty oversized jackets so that the sleeves aren't too tight if I want to wear a bulky sweater underneath. But you cannot account for deep yokes with a oversized jacket, because it's still going to have a pretty normal like armhole. So I split for sleeves once, maybe 1 or 2 rows after the last round of increases. And I think the pattern told you to knit for another at least a couple centimeters, maybe a couple inches. I don't remember. So mine was quite a bit shorter. I was a little bit nervous. I didn't want to do any try-ons of this actually while I was working on it, because I was worried that this it would be too the yoke would be too shallow or not deep enough. But I had tried it on before I split for sleeves and after I did the last round of increases on the yoke, and I noticed that it was already quite far down, and then, you know, when you add the body and the sleeves, it's gonna pull everything down even further. So I figured it would be okay. And guess what? It is. I love it. So I haven't blocked this yet. I don't know if I already said that. I haven't blocked it yet. I did say it. I find that the rolled edges are rolling up quite a bit. And also the sleeves aren't quite as long as I want them to be. But yeah, I find with plant-based yarns, they always tend to, like, they don't have memory. So they're just gonna, for me, my experience, they just keep growing and I always end up being unhappy with how big things are. So I figured if I just knit everything a little tiny bit shorter than how I wanted it, it would end up being perfect. Sorry, words are hard for me today. I'm a little bit tired. I've had kind of a crazy couple days, but anyways, at least health-wise, I'm feeling quite a bit better, so that's good. So yeah, I finished this, and then I finished it on Friday, and Friday night I was just like itching to like knit something else. I just loved working on this so much. So I've been thinking of what I wanted to work on next. And I found this pattern in Lina magazine, the new summer issue, for a knitted slipover tank, I don't know, a summer top, but you could also wear it as a vest. And I just fell in love with this project. So yesterday was the Fergus Fiber Festival in Fergus, Ontario, which is not too far from here. This is the 5th annual one, and I haven't been to any of them, so it's kind of like, let's go to the Fergus Fiber Festival this weekend. I really want to check it out. Unfortunately, when I kept checking the weather the day before, it was calling for 100% chance of rain and then also very high winds. So I kind of decided, like, I don't want to go. It's going to be outside. It's all outdoors. I think it's like in their downtown Main Street area. It would have been super cool. I know last year my aunt went and she didn't really enjoy herself because it was cold and rainy. So this year was going to be cold and rainy and super windy. Those are not conditions that I enjoy being out in. And because I found this project that I wanted to work on in a Lina magazine, I thought instead of going to the Fiber Festival and hoping to find an issue of Lina magazine, can we just go to a yarn store where I know they sell it and I will buy it? And that will be like my outing for the day because I'm trying to get out more. It's hard, but I am trying. So that is what we did. We drove to Cambridge to Galt House of Yarn, which is a pretty nice yarn store. I like it. They sell a good selection of stuff. It's a pretty big yarn store. They have a good mix of commercial yarns and indie yarns. They have, you know, all your project bags and accessories and magazines and books. They have a really good selection. Yeah, they have like Sandus Garn. They have Knitting for Olive, I'm pretty sure. But then they also carry things like Briggs and Little, which is a Canadian brand of yarn that's also very affordable, and not a lot of yarn stores carry it, I find. I don't think they carry any Noro, so could be doing better there, but I know importing stuff from Japan is really expensive. So I get why people wouldn't want to do it, and maybe it's hard. I find like I love Noro, and it seems like people really love like the Noro Madara and certain types of Noro, but even then, I don't think there's a guarantee that you're, as a yarn store, that it's going to be a high selling item, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, so I have a good selection. So I went there and I got my Lina magazine. Let me show you the project that I had my heart set on working on. Actually, there's quite a few good projects in here, but I have had a really bad track record of buying magazines or books, knitting books, and then never making any projects out of those books or magazines. I told myself if I get this, I have to make at least one project from this magazine. Because I don't know if you know, but these are not cheap magazines, but they're beautiful. I would say they're worth it, but I really want to actually make something. So I had my heart set on making the Murano top. I had my heart set on it. I'm still going to make it. It's made out of plant-based yarns, fingering weight. I love this like color work motif. I'm not a big sleeveless top person. I mean, here they have it styled as a slip over. I don't know if I really want to wear it that way. I think I want to wear it as a sleeveless top, but I'm going to show you one more picture. So the other reason why I really wanted to make this was because 6 years ago I won 3 skeins of Ritual Dyes Undine yarn, and I feel like it's such a popular yarn, at least from what I see on Instagram, that I've always felt guilty about sitting on these 3 skeins and not using them. Like, what is wrong with me? People love this yarn. Everyone's using it. Right now, Ritual Dyes is holding an Undine make along, so I thought it's kind of a perfect time for me to finally use these skeins of Undine. So I started on the body yesterday. This is how far I am. Not even an inch. Oh, by the way, I picked the color Lamb's Ear, which is one of my favorite perennials, even though it can be kind of annoying and a little bit invasive, but the color is so pretty. It's like a super pale sagey green. And then I picked for my contrast color. I had a couple options in my stash of fingering weight yarn, but none of them were plant-based. And so I kind of got nervous about mixing the two and how it would act. And also I just wanted it to be a summery top. So I ended up buying 2 balls of this Sandisgarn, and the colorway is 6080. It's like a pretty dark charcoaly gray, and I think they look really nice together. Now, unfortunately, even though this pattern calls for fingering weight plant-based yarn, the Undine is super thin. I would say it's a light fingering. I would say mine actually looks like it's almost a lace weight. So I am not super happy with how the ribbing is looking. The gauge is too loose for me, and the whole the one downside is the majority of the sweater is, or this vest or top, I'll just call it a top, is ribbing, other than the color work. And then also if the gauge is too loose, I don't want the color work, the floats, to be showing through. So I've been really on the fence now about what to do, because I really want to make this top. I think it's so pretty and so interesting looking. I haven't seen anything really like this, but I'm really thinking I maybe want to switch and do other, I don't know. The thing is, I love this color combo. So I do have more Sandisgarn, and it is what the pattern calls for as one of the recommended yarns if you don't use the yarn that the designer used, which I don't even know what yarn that is. So I have some of this Tinlina in my stash. In this colorway that I bought for a test knit that I never ended up doing. And I did knit a swatch with it, and the ribbing seems to be like, first off, the gauge is much closer to what the pattern calls for, and then the ribbing did look quite a bit neater than it does with the Ritual Dyes. The only thing is, I do think that this combo is all right, but I don't like it as much as I like the Undine with the charcoal. So now I'm really debating what to do. One of my thoughts was I could sort of put this project on hold for now. And there is another project in this magazine actually that calls for Undine, and it is this bandana. I'm wondering if I should just do that. It's also done on the same needles. It's obviously a different stitch pattern, but I'm sort of wondering if I should just put this one aside for now and make this bandana with the Undine and the Sandisgarn. as kind of like a bigger swatch for my top pattern. So I would knit the whole thing and then block it and everything and see what happens. Because I'm sort of wondering if this, when I block it, if it will sort of bloom a bit or relax a bit. I really don't know what to expect because I've never worked with the Undine before. But even in these photos of this bandana, I find it doesn't look, the yarn doesn't look as like thin as mine does. So I'm kind of curious just to see how it would work out because I've never used it before. I mean, the other option is I just don't use it for this top and I use it, maybe do like the James and Watts dappled lace raglan or the rib lace raglan. Two patterns of his I really like. The only thing is I don't really want to do a lace pattern and then have to wear a shirt underneath because of how open it is. And I've spent so much time already looking at patterns to use with this yarn, and then I think that's been kind of the barrier for me using it is I just don't know what to make with it. And I don't use, I mean, I use the plant-based fiber for this. And I also last year knit the Rillan sweater, and it was also in a Noro plant-based fiber. But I find that these, like, to me, don't feel like plant-based fibers. I mean, they are, but they just feel toothier or a little bit closer to like what an animal fiber feels like. Anyways, so I'm kind of having this dilemma now where, I mean, I have 3 skeins of the Undine. For sure, I could do the bandana and then still do that top. I have more than enough for that. I just hate how open the gauge is for, I mean, it is a summer top, so it's not like the worst thing to have such an open gauge, but I just really like how this looks. I'm almost thinking like, should I actually just do it in animal fiber yarn and just keep it for more of a like non-summer garment? Anyways, this is a dilemma I'm in. I do also have the fingering weight yarn that I bought at Nash Yarn Fest, that light purple that I got for the Lou top, and it's 50% wool and 50% cotton. Like, I almost wonder if that would be better, but I just really like the idea of doing this like sagey green with the charcoal, because I also got like, I want to wear it with, I have made plans for it for specific outfits. So yeah, I don't really know what to do. So that's the dilemma I'm in right now, but I guess I'll have to figure it out, and you'll probably find out what I'm doing in the next episode. So I guess that's it for me for today. I hope you like this. I'm sure it's pretty rambly and long. I always think that I'm going to do such a short episode and then it's like over 20 minutes, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. So I will see you next time. Bye.